Ian, as you are a thought leader, it would be really interesting if you could share your thoughts on the industry related to data.
Indeed, I think some of the key challenges are around the integration of data and how we connect the various capabilities, especially across medical and commercial. On top of that, then how do we bring together the sales data we get from third parties and analyse that in a meaningful, actionable manner? It is very much that complete 360 view of the customer, and the customer being the HCP or the organisation, the HCO, or some other aspect of the customer environment that we operate in.
And if you look a little bit back, and actually what prompted you to make that change? Can you describe the situation you were in at Astellas at that point?
Yeah, so we had approximately 7 or 8 different data providers. So contractually, that's a nightmare to manage, but it's also a nightmare from a roadmap perspective because most of them didn't really have a roadmap. They just gave us data. There was no evolution of that data, no enrichment of the data. So one of the things we really needed was for omnichannel to work successfully, to be able to have a very good view of the customer alongside some of the social activity, so LinkedIn or the email address, and as well as the HCO structures as well. That was one of the things that made us switch to OpenData. The other big one was around the consistency of data across the world. One of the nice things we see with OpenData is the definitions of data are consistent across the world. So a nurse in Latin America is the same as a nurse in Europe and the same as a nurse in Asia.
So it's like building a true global data model, a true global data architecture to drive your commercial excellence.
Some of the more difficult markets that we operate in, such as India, and how we can standardize on that consistent model across the world. We really needed to be able to have, from a global perspective, a good view of customer types, customer specialties, consistently. So if you're a user using the system from the UK and you search for all of the nephrologists in Asia, for example, you can find that without having to go through all of the different language variations of the data that you currently have. So OpenData allows us to do that, but it also opens up the access to the data to other people. So for example, our Congress and Events team can now start interacting via the network portal with the data directly without needing to go into CRM, without needing CRM licenses.
Why are you doing all of this and what's the impact?
The real reason we're doing this is to gain a single source of truth for the HCP, HCO data. That information is foundational to our omnichannel aspirations, our omnichannel capabilities. In terms of the impact we're already seeing, the speed of engagement used to be sort of 4 to 5 business days from when we would discover and add a change request to CRM for a new customer. But now we're seeing that as being less than 4 to 5 hours. So we're able to add a customer to our CRM and gain their consent and their email address and start them on their marketing journeys much faster. The discussions we are having with the countries are now different. So they're more around how can we leverage the data, how can we make use of the information, how can we focus our activities from the launch perspective on the new customers we need to focus on, how can we identify them.